All right, let's begin. Good evening. Happy Tuesday, Thursday, even. I don't remember what day it is in a minute. Praise be the spiral and all that. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'll make sure that's corrected. I'm up here. Hope everyone's doing well. It's AMK Day. Why is that? Is it your birthday today, Andy? Oh God, why can't I see that over there? Hang on. There we go. It's better. Thank you for the resub. I'm at 25 months. Wow. No, every day is AMK Day. Okay, fair enough. Wow, that seems a bit loud. I'm going to knock the music down slightly. I ordered one of those handhelds. Where do you find the custom firmware? Oh, good question. Let me see if I can find it for you quickly. Yeah, that's the one. I'll see if I can find it afterwards. I'm not going to do it now. Yeah, stick it in one of the discords. Actually, yeah, let's make a Pocket Go channel. Actually, let's call it. I'm going to put it in the hardware channel, and I'm going to call it emulation devices. So there's a new channel in the hardware section. Just go into there, drop the question in there, and I'll see if I can find it for you. I've actually got it on my desktop somewhere, so I could always drop it on Google Drive and share the link in there. I'd have to have a thing. I don't know what my limit is on download things for that. I think it's unlimited downloads. I think it's limited the number of people that can download it. So anyway, welcome to Thursday. So this is the first of 3 back-to-back streams. So we're going to be streaming tomorrow. Going to be streaming Saturday. The reason I'm doing that is firstly because I haven't played Spider-Man again since last time. In fact, I haven't played much PS5 actually since last time. So because I've been playing Final Fantasy. Just realised my water needs topping up in my machine. I'll do that soon. So yeah, so that's one reason I'm doing the Friday stream, but also next week I'm going to be not streaming at all for just over a week. So it's going to be next. So no streams next week, and it'll probably be the Thursday after that you see me. So it's going to be almost 2 weeks because I've got people coming around. So thank you very much for the resub, Andy. Appreciate it, and thank you for the cheers as well. And thank you for the sub from Cult of Rig as well. Missing a few. Yeah, so there'll be no streams next week at all. I've got people I've got a friend coming down on Wednesday morning, so Wednesday afternoon, so I need to prepare for that, and that means I won't be doing Tuesday. I won't be doing Thursday. I won't be doing Saturday, and I'll probably take the Tuesday off as well. So it's going to be a little while before you see me back again. So that's why we're doing 3 streams back to back. So that's the bad news. The good news is that tomorrow I'll be doing a giveaway. So on the stream, Spider-Man stream, I'll finally be giving away Resident Evil Village, which I've been waiting to do for a while. Thank you very much, Tron6502, for the bits. Appreciate it. So I'll be giving that away finally. It'll be standard kind of giveaway rules. I'll give it away around about midnight. I will offer tickets for the usual 3,000. So yeah, just be aware that you will need points for that, of which I'm going to give you some now. So tomorrow will be Tomorrow will be PlayStation 5 playing Spider-Man. I'll play that till whenever. I'm not sure. I'll try and play it as long as I can, but not promising anything. And then Saturday we'll be getting back to the Mega 65 kart game. That's progressing nicely now. I've got some kind of nice milestones in there. I'm going to do the full kart rotation of the sprite. Then once that's in place, we can move on to other things in the game. Start thinking about what the memory layout's going to be like. I've been talking to a few people on the Mega 65 forum about the music as well. There's a few people interested in doing music and sound effects for it, so it's seeing how much room I can give them as well. So that's kind of cool. Of course, everybody's welcome to make tracks for it as well. Tracks, actual physical racing tracks, and also music tracks as well. So if you want to do that, it's fine. I have been messing around with Blender a little bit today. I spent a little while doing something and then realized that I probably don't even have to do that really. There's plenty of resources online that have free models. I don't need anything particularly special as long as I can texture it. In fact, it's not even texturing. I just need to do cell shading. I just need to figure out how to do that. So if I can get that and I can get a little character to put in it, that's kind of half the trouble. They don't need to animate. The wheels don't need to turn or anything like that. It just needs to be nicely rendered in cell shading and rotated. So you thought the Blend UI was a good idea. Actually, to be honest, since last, because I used it a long time ago, and it was terrible back then. It's a lot better than it was, and I'm used to 3ds Max, so my experience of UIs is tainted by that. So compared to 3ds Max, the Blender UI is pretty nice actually. Although again, I haven't used 3ds Max for a while either, so, and I was never any good at them anyway. It was just something to play around with. But yeah, I like it. I like it so far. Thank you very much for the bits to Steps as well, and to Kenneth Mirror as well. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, right. Let's start the races and crack on tonight. So tonight we're just going to do some Cecconoid. We're going to do the Robotron screens. We haven't started those yet, so I'm going to go through a couple of things that I want to do. I've downloaded Charpad ahead of time, so we can actually work on it properly. And I'll explain what my plan is for this. I think this is going to work, but we can test it out. Right, let me. I'm clicking all the wrong things, looking for the window. There it is. Right, there we go. Right, so races on. There we go. Cool. Okay, so I think it was Mad Beagle that posted. Mad Beagle, the prolific C64 game generating machine. Posted a little clip of a Robotron style game that he'd been doing. Yeah, there he is. Game making machine that you are. And it just gave me an idea because I was originally planning on using sprites and doing some clever stuff with the sprites where I kind of merged two sprites into one at runtime. Like when you first enter the screen, you merge a load of sprites together into the sprite, because the sprite banks are basically can be reloaded every screen if you want to. So you just generate these sprite pairs, if you like, in a single sprite. So you can basically double the number of sprites that you can have per line if they're close together. But then I was thinking about it, and I was thinking this is going to end up being some kind of crazy overkill thing, and it's really not going to be that useful outside of the 2 or 3 screens that it's going to be on. So instead, I thought what I would do is use a similar approach to what Mad Beagle's done and use characters for it. Oh, before I continue as well, one thing I want to say about Saturday stream as well. There'll be a giveaway on Saturday as well. So the giveaway on Saturday will be for copies of .cosmos. Bitmapsoft has put up 2 copies of .cosmos. So thanks to Jamie at Bitmapsoft for that, and I'll be doing some shameless promotion of them on Saturday throughout the stream as well. So if you want to win a copy of that for the Game Boy Color, that I'll be giving away 2 copies of that on Saturday as well. This really is a crazy month for giveaways. Hopefully those who won the Pocket Go should have received them today as well, I think. because they were all UK addresses. So if not, they'll probably be due tomorrow. But they were all sent first class yesterday, so maybe you got them today. As for the Mega 65s, they were shipped out also yesterday, so they should be coming fairly soon. But they were all international, so it'll take a bit longer. And that's right. I'm just finishing my lemonade. All right, let's crack open a mojito. So yeah, as I say, I think we're going to go with a custom solution, a character solution for the Robotron screens. So let's just quickly show you what those Robotron screens look like. Um, let's find the video. I can never find the right video. I always kind of click the wrong one first. This might be a decent one though. Yeah, so for those who did win the those devices, what I've done is oh, hang on. See, yeah, it goes down this time. What I did was just put a selection of various ROMs on. I did say I was going to ask people what they wanted, but I realized everybody kind of wants roughly the same things anyway. So I put a selection of those on the device. Why is this not loading? Don't tell me my internet's gone down again. I changed the overlay to not use a CDN as well, so I've got a local copy of jQuery. It seemed ridiculous to have a. God, that's not working, is it? All right, let's find a decent video. Yeah, Tomb Raider's one of the games that is on there as well. So the image that I share has these games on it as well. So it's an image with the games set up. It's got a few. It's got like Commodore games on it, some Amstrad games on it, some Spectrum games on it, Game Boy games on it, and PlayStation, I think. But I'll share a link to that at some point. Right, let me. I'm just trying to find a decent video of that Robotron screen so you can see what it's like. Right, here we go. Okay, so there's a few things about this screen. First of all, there's this little message that flashes up. Now, this should be pretty easy to do, right? We can just do this with characters. We just build it out of single kind of square characters, and that should be relatively easy to do. But I do want to put that in. I think it's important that that does go in. So that will flash a little bit, and then these things appear. So I can definitely make these things at sprites quite easily, and this should work quite easily with sprites, I think. And then the circles zooming in on them, I'm not sure how to do that. We'll have to have a think about that. A whole shit ton of 2.6. Oh yeah, I did put some 2600 on. Oh yeah, one other thing to be wary of with the Pocket Goes is when you go into the menus and you load a folder, it can take a little while. If there's a lot of files in that folder, it can take a little while to load the folder. So just be patient. If it seems like it's frozen, it's just loading the folder. Thank you for the follow, MK Misfit. Appreciate it very much. Cheers. So as you can see, this screen is quite simple. There's not a lot on it in terms of enemies. They're quite small. You could argue that these probably could be done with sprites, but the problem is if you manage to move around the screen enough, because they will basically follow you around the screen. If you manage to move around the screen enough, you could probably line them all up in a row, and that's where you're going to get into problems. So my plan is to kind of build this out of two layers. There's going to be a sprite layer, which is going to be for the bigger enemies, which you will see on the other screens later on. And there's going to be a character layer. Now, these are all quite small. I think these will fit into it. In fact, I will go and find out where they are in a minute, but they animate as well. But basically, they're quite small. So what I'm going to do is let me actually load the chart pad up now, show you what I mean. Should probably find those images as well. Okay, open project. Let's see if we can find it. Hang on. Projects on. Okay, so what it's going to be, so in the same way we have the doors, which actually aren't in there. Oh, there they are, doors charts. So we've got these door charts, and they get loaded in on top of the font set. So remember what I've said about the font set: when you move between screens, the previous screen's characters become unused, and they become ready to overwrite. But the last position that you were at when the characters were being written, that's what the new screen characters get written. And there's an index which gets saved. Um, there's an index which gets saved between each screen load. And that index is where we can start doing stuff. So with the door characters, what we do um, is these characters are loaded in at the end of the font. So as soon as the screen is loaded and the character set is decided, this is the characters that are going to be loaded for this screen. The If the screen has doors, they get loaded on top of the font. So what will happen in this screen is there is a door. So the very first thing that will happen when you come into this screen, and let me just go back so you can see it, is the door shuts as the warning symbol comes on. So you will basically be frozen on the spot while that's happening, I think. The warning symbol will appear, the door closes behind you. So there'll be a little bit of logic in the screen to close the door behind you. That means that these characters have to be loaded in, which they will be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another little character set which contains these things in it. But what I'm going to do, let's create a new character set, new project. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and create these in a way that I can move them not 8 pixels at a time, but 4 pixels at a time. So there's actually going to be, for every animation, there's going to be 2 versions of it. Now, we can use up to about 100 characters extra in every screen. Each screen is max about 110 characters, I think. And there's a few that we've got on the base set. So there's like 10 or so that are on the base set, and then there's a few at the end of this thing. So it leaves around about 100 characters. Now, the door only uses like 20 at the most. So it leaves us loads of room to do stuff. Now, this animation is going to be quite simple. I'm just going to copy what you see here and make it kind of 2 frames or so. Actually, is this 8 characters wide? I think it might be 8 characters wide. Let's go and have a look at the Cecconoid GitHub. So the Cecconoid GitHub is really good because it has all the assets in it. And you can download this and build this yourself. It's a Unity project. So if you want to kind of mess around with the original Unity project, then you can. The guy who made this is a tutor at a university, I believe, and he used Cecconoid as a learning tool to teach his students how to do this. So that's why it's here on GitHub. That's why it's open source. Obviously, the version that's on Steam is probably a little bit ahead of this. Um, a little bit different. It's probably got some extra things in it that aren't in the original version. But there's enough in terms of assets to find exactly what we're looking for. When it comes to enemies and stuff. So here's a sprite sheet. So I'm only bringing this up so I can actually just copy the pixels and measure the size of it. So if I copy that image and I put it in AssetSprite, so the problem with the browsers is they tend to have filtering, so you don't really see the exact pixels, whereas AssetSprite will show you exactly. And then if you put the grid on and do it one by one like that, and then we zoom in. So what we're looking for is we're looking for these things, look like little Easter eggs, I guess. Looks like it's going to be round here somewhere, isn't it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm missing it. Is it on the bottom? So the other thing to bear in mind as well is we don't do the black outline on anything. So we only need the white sections here. So even if the black outline takes it beyond 8 pixels, it's still only going to be 8 pixels if the white bit is within range. I'm really not seeing the shape though anywhere. Give me a shout if anybody can see it. I really can't see it. I know it's probably really tiny for you guys. Let's try and zoom in a bit. Maybe it's on a different sprite sheet though as well. I might be just kind of just in the wrong sprite sheet, but I don't think it's in here. Looking at this, unless it's this. No, it's not that, is it? That's different. Oh, actually, that does kind of look the same. Line above game, 3/4 across. Where? I mean that's the wrong one though. Left up. Tell me where to go from here. Uh, I mean, this is big in front of me, and I still can't see it. I don't know. I don't know if. She's. She's right. I'm not seeing it at all. No, I'm not seeing it. I can see these things, but these aren't him. These are the bigger ones that appear later on. I'm not seeing the smaller one at all. Not it next to Zub. There isn't even one next to Zub. What are you on about? No, I don't know what you're seeing there. All right, let's have a look. It might be on another sprite sheet, so let's just check. So that's that one. There is another one, the warning one. I don't think it will be in this one though. But there's no, that's just the epilepsy warning. Okay. Okay, interesting. I would have thought it would have been in those, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's in these. Loading screen logo. No, it's not going to be in those. Utils. Okay, no, it's not going to be in these either, is it? No. Okay, well, maybe it has to be in there then. I mean, it's not a problem. I can probably build it from the video as well, but I just wanted it to be absolutely sure, but it doesn't look like it's in there. Again, this could have been something that changed at some point. Be anywhere in here. Armatron, achievement icon, no. Okay. Baddie. Any of these are, so float in mine. It would be really good if they produced a way of viewing all these individually. Actually, I could just download the whole thing, but I can't be bothered. All right, let's go with it from the video. I think that's probably going to be easier. All right, so because I can kind of see on the video the pixel lines because of the way that the shader works. I think it is 8 characters, which actually makes this a hell of a lot easier, right? So I'm going to make the background black. I'm going to make the character color white, and I'm going to make sure this is in high resolution mode. And then we're going to I'll leave that one blank for now and just move on to this one because I want to put it like in here somewhere. So let me take a look. Okay, so I think it's got 4 across the top, then 2 rows like so, then a row. Oops. Then a blank, then some particle shapes, which is 4, or not even particle shapes. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That works. TLMRGVF. That's a tricky one to say. I'm surprised I got that. TLMRGVF. I did get it right. Okay, thank you very much for the resub. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. So there we go. That's one in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to now move this into well, actually, let's do the animation for it first. So if it's only going to be this size, then if you're on GitHub, you can enter which is previous. Oh, seriously? Holy shit! I did not know that. I did not know that. How? Wow. How often have I used GitHub and never knew that? That's amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's freaking awesome. That's really quite awesome. I mean, I don't need it now, but I mean, this is really cool. Oh, it's not letting. It's not loaded. Oh, it might be because I'm in a. Let me do that. Wow, that is, yeah. No, I never knew that. Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10 points for that because that's pretty awesome stuff, really. Yeah, great tip. I never knew that was there, and I've used GitHub for years and didn't even know that existed. So for some reason, I cannot select your name in the list, so I'm gonna have to go manually down. There we go. Can you compile in the browser? Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Well, it is actually the full. It is pretty much just a VS Code instance, isn't it? It's got yeah, that's really cool. Wow, I'm really impressed. It's got extensions as well. I can actually install extensions in it. Wow, that's cool. Coded in GitHub from now. Yeah, that's amazing. Never knew that was a thing. Ah, I'm honestly completely shocked by that. All right, let's add some extra frames in. So we're gonna do all the frames of this. So it looks like basically I'll just keep pasting in because I'm just going to delete them later on anyway. It looks like basically this happens. That one stays in place and then this one expands. So I'm imagining it's going to go like this. What's the advance button? It's that one, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so it goes from there to there, which is 2 on that side actually. So let's do that. And then 4, like so. Oh shit. Ah, damn it. There. Okay, and then 3 and 4. 3 and 3. And I'm guessing it repeats. Oops. Oh no, okay, there's another step. Okay. Three. Oh, this is still possible. Like, what I'm trying to do is think about how much memory this is going to take in the character set at the same time as being able to expand it to move sub kind of uh, sub character width. So basically, we've got 5 frames of animation. Not a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm now going to copy these 5 frames of animation in a way that I can um, use them in groups of 4 as well. So I'm gonna do it. I'll do one at a time, and then I'll. I think I do that. Yeah, I'll do one at a time, and then I'll rebuild them um, later. Now the thing is we can probably reuse some of the characters for this. So, for instance, the top half is always going to be the same. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm moving everything um, so that there are 4. Oh, what's this one? Clint Eastwood. Oh, I know what this one is. This is the one tricky. What have you got in this series so far, SP? I wonder. Oh, somebody cleared it anyway with oh, another one of those. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that series is going to be tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything down by 4 pixels. Um, so this is the new top, and this can be shared basically. because this is never going to change. This is always going to be the same. It's only going to be the bottom half that changes. But I'm also going to do it in two halves this way. So basically what we... Oh, shit, no, I can't. I have to do it. Oh, this is not going to... This is going to be tricky, actually, because I need to do it... Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to reduce this down first to just one frame. So in order to make this move in 4 different directions, we need to be able to display it in a few different formats, right? So there's this format, then there's going to be this format to move it halfway between. So if I take this, for instance, and put this here, and then if I move this up, just get rid of this. So that becomes, it can now move up and down. So now we've got it so where it can move up and down 4 pixels at a time. So now we'd need left and right as well. So, oops. I mean, what's the, is it Shift and V? No, Shift, Control C. The paste is really weird in this. Wait, where is the paste? Where's the bloody paste? Shift Control V, that's it. Like so. Cody Ergo, thank you very much for the resub. You missed streams last week. No, well, fill up on them because there's no streams next week. So yeah, there wasn't very much this week. I said August was going to be a fairly quiet month, trying to kind of recuperate a little bit, but also as I say, I've got somebody coming round next week, so I'm not going to be available for quite a large portion of it. Okay, cool. So now we've got a character that can move left 4 pixels at a time. Hang on, is that... Yeah. Oh, that one's wrong. Okay. Left and right 4 pixels at a time. Up and down 4 pixels at a time. But to move diagonally 4 pixels at a time, it would need a final piece that's kind of like this. So let's do this here. Okay, so now if I just take those and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, because I'm basically creating lots and lots of these on the screen, and they're going to be at varying kind of positions, we're going to actually record the position in half units, and we'll use circular kind of distance basically to decide if you've collided with them. That way we can keep the collision fairly tight without having to do too much in terms of the collision routine, because these aren't going to collide with the background at all. And they're only really going to collide with the player and the bullets. Now, the fact that they are going to be in the font set means they'll automatically collide with the bullets. So that's kind of nice and easy to deal with. We will have to write something in the bullet routine to say if we're in a Robotron screen, then we need to do this extra little bit of calculation just to ensure that each one of these can be destroyed. Kind of like we have with the destroyable stuff. So whenever you hit something, it will just say, okay, I've hit something, find out where that object is, and then any of these objects that's drawn into that location will be classed as hits. So you'll be able to hit a couple at the same time. We can see now we can move this diagonally in any direction. That's this one here. We can move it left and right, this one here, and we can move it up and down, and they will move at 4 pixels at a time. So even though we're not using sprites, we can still have less, we can have sub character movement, and 4 pixels doesn't look too bad. It's what I used in Parasol Stars for the elements. When they drop, they actually they do something more complex. Actually, they, as well as only taking half the character up, they also blend with the character behind them. But we don't need to do that on this at all. The only thing we will need to do is accept that there will be a little bit of kind of not clash, but kind of blackout when one. So like when this character appears on top of this one, you're not going to see this one. It's going to be hidden behind that one. When this character appears, oops. Let's see if I can. So when they're like that, that's fine. But when they're like that, they you'll get these little kind of black marks now and again. But it's not too bad. I'm not too fussed about that. I want to have lots of these on the screen, and this is going to be the most the easiest way to do this, I think. So, um, yeah, and now we just need to animate them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these into groups of animations. So let's just move these out of the way first of all. So actually, can I insert in there? Let's have a look. Chars, insert blank. I can. Okay. So let's have a think about the animation. Let's try and simplify it because I think 5 animations each for this is going to be a little bit much. So let's see if we can simplify it a little bit. Can we actually set an animation here? We can't, can we? No. All right. That'd be nice to have in here, actually, an animation editor. I mean, even that would maybe be enough. But let's do 3 instead. So what I'm trying to do is get this so that it feels kind of natural still. So from there to there to there. So if I just look at that on the. Wait, why did that not? Oh, it's drawn on the wrong side. Damn it! All right. It'd be there, there, there. Yeah, I think that'll look all right. We can always edit those later on. Um, so the cool thing about this is for the up and down one, we only need to change the bottom. That's the only thing that needs to change. So I'm gonna start moving these into position. I'm gonna make a note of where they are in the animation as well. Um, so first of all, we've got uh, well, I can call them by what they are. So this is 1 by 1. So the 1 by 1. So I'm going to count this as 0 because I'm going to delete this space eventually. So the 1 by 1 animation goes 0, 1, 2. Okay, and then the 1 by 2 animation. So that's this one here. Blah, blah, blah. How many would you need to combine the sprites to avoid the glitches? Well, this is the thing. So what I was thinking is to basically do a mix later on. So I want to use character sprites for some of these, and then sprites as well at a certain point. Now it could be that we could put some clever code in which says, okay, if these two are colliding, then make this a sprite instead. Um, that's possible, I guess. But if you see some of the screens later on, they're absolutely crazy. So I've got to be a little bit careful that I don't go overboard. Um, how many would you need to combine the sprites to? Oh, right. I mean, I could do that as well. So I could instead I could save some space in the character set and do the combination as well by oring all the values in there. The problem with that is it's going to be really slow, and some of the stuff later on is going to be some of the screens later on are absolutely crazy. So I while this is a quite simple screen, I want this to kind of set up the engine for later on. This is one compromise I think is going to be fair enough. There isn't going to be. I think there's like 3 of these screens. There's not that many of them, um, so it's really not a huge problem. And you could even You could even have it. Just one byte to rotate. That's a really good point, actually. That's a very, very good point. Um, Gareth, I'm going to give you 10 points for that because I think that's a really good point. Thank you. That's there you go. AMK points are flying out. Come on, Andy. Yeah, I like that. That's a really, really good point. Because what we can do is we can just basically keep. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a think about this. If we get this, there's definitely a way to do it, even if it's just keep a table of the values and just rotate through them. Um, but if we were to actually just physically rotate the bytes, how would? Yeah, I mean, this would work fine, right? Yeah. All right, we're doing that. That's brilliant. I like it. Okay, so we'll go with that one, and we'll just rotate it. All right. Cool. That makes it nice and simple. In that case, we don't need any animation at all, so I can just get rid of that. Instead, what I will do is I'll record the pieces. So 1, 2, and then 2 by 1 would be 3, 4, and then 2 by 2 would be 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Uh, do they overlap, or could you avoid that? What do you mean? Do they overlap? I'm not sure what you mean by do they overlap. Oh, do they overlap? Well, I mean, I think they do because they basically just move towards the player, right? So they do overlap. But what will tend to happen as they overlap is they'll tend to be on the same line, so they'll tend not. This is the extreme case, and what we can do is we can make them so that they will always move. They'll always try to move towards one of these three states here. Don't know why that's not selecting, but we can make it so they always tend towards one of these three states, and that means that the overlap will be less pronounced, basically. Um, do you die? Yes, you die when they catch you. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, because they tend to these states, this extreme case is way less likely. So that's kind of good. They will tend to kind of be on a line like this, so we can just make sure that they don't sit in this state. If they're ever in this state, they've always got to move a full character across. Uh, so they can wait until the position is freed. Yes, I mean you could kind of do that. I guess we can see. Yeah, we can see how it goes. It needs to feel like the original, but yeah, if we can find ways to avoid it, then that's great as well. But yeah, we'll go down this route. I think I think it's going to work. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. Um, okay, let's just move some of these around a little bit. So okay, so that's those two. So this is character four. So that would be yep. That's right. That's right. Yep. Okay. And as I say, these are just the small ones. All the big things on the screen, um, all the big ones on the screen are going to be sprites, and we'll just use the multiplexer to deal with those. I just wanted a way to maintain a kind of high level of enemies on the screen, um, and still kind of maintain decent performance and no sprite flickering. I'd rather have overlap issues with characters and have lots of them than have a complete breakdown of the multiplexer and flickering all over the place. Um, I think the movement of 4 pixels at a time is going to make this quite pleasant. It's not going to be too jarring. Whereas the if it was doing 8 pixels at a time, it would be really jarring. And I think sprite flickering would be even more jarring. So, what's the step saying? Is there not a command to list the correct? No, there's not. No. Uh, could we have that sometime? Um, I don't know. I'll have to have a think about it. I mean, SP's filling that filling that quite nicely anyway at the moment. But maybe, yeah. I mean, it's if SP's listing them all, then it kind of makes sense to allow that to a certain extent anyway. Okay, so we're only using 9 characters, which is really nice. So let's save that out. Save this as let's call it Robotron Chars. But it won't be in any immediate future. It's going to be a little bit later if I do that. So just to go back to what I was saying about the cart in the kart racer, if anybody has any skills with texturing, we've moved from having to model the whole thing to just being able to texture now, or at least no, not even texturing. It's the cartoon shading. What problems are you having, SP? I mean, you said you're having hardware problems. You've got problems with your connection or your PC. Have you accidentally bought a Mac? You know, what kind of problems have you got? Let's find out where that loads game. Where's those door chars? Doors. There we go. Let's put them in there. Robotron. Leave Apple alone. No. No, no, I won't. I will never leave Apple alone. I had a weird bug the other day. It was on the Mac actually. With was it Skype or what was it? I think it was Skype. I can't remember. It's one of the chat programs. I think it was Skype. It was whenever I had Bluetooth headphones. If I put Bluetooth headphones and connect them to the Mac, Skype would disconnect it because Skype would show that I was offline. Weirdly, I don't know why. It would just kind of crash Skype or something. The moment I turned Bluetooth off, back on again. If I turned Bluetooth on and then restarted Skype, it would work fine. But if I had Skype on and connected when I turned the headphones on, it would break things. Really, really weird. Really weird issues. But then again, I've always found the Mac a little bit funny with Bluetooth stuff. I don't think their Bluetooth drivers are that great, to be honest. Okay, so we've got these saved out as Robotron chars. Let's have a look at trying to get these into a screen now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is just kind of get the game to be into a situation where we can be on that screen. Um, so we need to load into that screen from another screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it started. Oh, what's it doing? Ugh. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's doing. Very weird. Zombie Steve will come and get you. What's it doing? It seems to have kind of done weird, it's weird stuff now. Yeah, let me close it. Yeah. So I get this now and again. So the new Sublime seems a little less stable than the last one. Wow, okay. It's because I'm dissing Apple. It just wants to prove me wrong. Wait, 99? What the hell? Oh. And does the quiz league end? Probably the end of the year, I think. Let's just let it run throughout the year. And arrange a prize for Christmas. I'm not sure what it will be yet. I was going to do it in kind of like seasons. I was going to do like 4 seasons, but honestly, I've been so busy and stuff. It's just really difficult to kind of to maintain all these things at the same time. So I think I'll do Christmas. It's just more fun for December as well. Anyway, uh, how far ahead are you? I mean, have you got space to breathe, or do you have to kind of be on the ball, if you like? Okay, so we're going to go down to that screen, this screen here. So this is going to be the screen that we basically we need to get through. We should just be able to whiz through it, I think. Yeah, okay, so we can whiz through that screen and come into this one. So screen 20 is the screen that we're going to be working on. Screen 21 is the screen we want to start on. So I'm going to set that up first. We might need to tweak the player position. And then once we've got that going, we'll build a basic kind of setup for that screen, so that when we go in, the door closes. We won't do the warning thing just yet. Well, I guess we could do the warning. No, we'll do that next time. I think that'd be a nice one to add at a later date. So, this is subtract all wrong, gets his points. Oh wow, no one would have any points. No one would have any points because you only get one guess. So. Uh, One thing I was considering was allowing you multiple guesses, but if you get it right on like your second go, you only get half the points. So if you get it right on your third go, you'd get a quarter of the points, that sort of thing. Uh, just to kind of make up for people doing typos and stuff. But nah, I'm again, it's one of those things that will come with the new firmware, the new overlay. Whenever I get round to finishing that. I haven't even done that this month. I've been meaning to do the Sid player stuff, and I haven't done that yet. Maybe next league, yeah. I also want to add Atari 2600 into the next league. I want to add. I want to take out. No, actually, I'll leave the PlayStation and Nintendo stuff in, but I do want to take out some of the lesser known games. So I'll probably reduce those games down a little bit, and add Atari and maybe Amstrad as well. I just kind of want to streamline it a little bit. Um, just 5 games all the Tomb Raider. They'd never appear. They'd be so rare. They'd never appear. All right, let's take a look at the player. Let me just get 2 views up here. So I just want to point out as well, I'm not going to play Resident Evil tonight. I will play it on Saturday, but I'm not going to play it tonight. With me streaming tomorrow as well, I kind of want to get my sleep in. Normally, I sleep a little bit longer on the day that I streamed the night before because of the late night. But if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, I'm not gonna do that. But I will play it at quite a length, hopefully on Saturday because it will be the last one. You're only here for Resident Evil. Oh, you're here for my witty banter. It's no witty banter at all. All right, player, spawn player. No. Oh, actually, no, we do. We have spawn positions here. We are. Okay, so these are our spawn positions. The game loop has the initial screen on it, I believe, which needs to be 21. Is it the game loop? I thought it was the game. Yes, this one here. So this is the original. Actually, it's not. I don't even think that's right. Oh, no, it is right. Okay. All right, so let's just see where that starts us on the screen, and then we'll just adjust it slightly. So what I might do, and this is something I've been considering for a little while, is expand the quiz to cover films and TVs as well. So as well as kind of games, you might get like a film icon or a TV icon, and you'll see screenshot from a film or a TV show. Potentially, I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. Which one's that now? That's Poe, isn't it? Sadly, I know all of these. Yeah, because it was just one of those shows my kids were at the right age to watch far too much of it. Um, Daniel, did Sean actually? No, Sean would. I think Sean watched a little bit, but it was Danielle's. Danielle was definitely the right age. She used to watch tons of it. I've seen probably the same 5 or 6 episodes over and over and over again because anybody who's had kids at that age will know um, that kids like to kind of like repetition. They like to know things. They like to memorize and repeat things. So we'd videotape a few of the episodes so we could put it on because it was a favorite thing to watch. So we'd videotape so that when they weren't on the TV, we could put them on. 80s PC games. That's not a bad idea as well. Yeah, 80s, 90s. Yeah, I may add a few PC games in. Yeah, uh, I definitely want to extend it a little bit because I kind of enjoy those quiz kind of things. I think it works really well as a nice little thing. I also want to add some different backgrounds for the race and maybe some Shimmer Shillings purchases or not Shimmer channel points that let you change the background for the races and stuff. But again, this is all going to come with a new overlay. So I also want to add the Amiga mods in as well, which I need to find a good search engine for Amiga mods at the moment. I don't have one, so the player works fine, but the a proper way to kind of search and label a tune correctly is difficult. So okay, cool. So now we're on the right screen. So basically, our task is just to come into this screen, see how it works. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move us to here, I think, because that'll make it a bit easier to go into the screen. So also, I need to fix the screen shake because it sometimes leaves the screen a bit funny. But we'll come back to that's a polished thing later on. Holmes would be caught in the bug thing. Okay, so let's move this guy all the way over here. So let's reduce that down to like 2F or something and see where that leaves us. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we start here, we move into this screen. Excellent. So the reason why we need to start on the previous screen and not on this screen is because all the startup scripts for the screen are triggered by entering the screen, with the exception of actually is that true? Oh, some of the scripts are triggered. I can't remember which ones, but I'm going to do it like this anyway because I want to see the door close behind here. So um, it's going to be good. Right, let's go ahead and start building the base for this screen, and then we can think about um, how to do the Robotron sections. Technically, the C64, Apple, to etc. were PCs, but yeah, they definitely were. In fact, if you look at the kind of the stuff that was the CGA games of the day versus kind of the Apple II, the Atari, the C64, they were so far behind what the home computers were doing. The ones we think of as retro 8-bit home computers now. They were just so far ahead of what the PC was doing graphically. Um, it took kind of a bit of a revolution of kind of um, things like Doom and stuff. Kind of changed it quite a lot. Carmack, he had a big input in the kind of the kickstarting of PC kind of gaming, if you like. A big hand in it. Both him and Romero actually. With what was the game they did? Oh crap, I can't remember it. What was the platform game that they did before Doom? I forgot it was. Commander Keen. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it as soon as you typed it. Yeah, Commander Keen. That kind of changed things quite a lot because that made PC developers realize they could do stuff the same as these Commodores and stuff. and then it was just a matter of time that the colors and higher resolution monitors and more powerful CPUs came. Yeah, Sound Blaster as well. Yeah, because until then as well, you also had, you had to deal with kind of beeper. Most PCs didn't have a sound card, right? Most PCs just had the little um, bleeper speaker. So you were very limited with that as well. And then when people realized that, oh, actually these are, multimedia machines, and they, although that was probably a bit later, that was probably like the 486 era when they started becoming multimedia machines. But before that, they were gaming machines, and you had like all the different, yeah, Adlib as well. Yeah, I was just gonna say Adlib, and there was another one as well, Sound Blaster, Adlib. Is it Turtle Beach or whatever it was? Turtle, what they were? Turtle Beach sound cards, I remember. Uh, Oh yeah, Roland. I remember the first time I heard one of the MIDI maps, MIDI sound maps, sound fonts, I think they were called, from the Roland cards. They were absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It's like, oh my god, this is like really, really realistic sounds. Because up until then, you'd only really heard the shitty, basic ones that you get on, well, probably Sound Blasters, I guess, was what I was hearing. So it was really cool to hear that. Did the stream fail? Oh, no, I don't think so. Wavetable, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, let's get this screen in. All right, so to add a screen, we basically need a screen file. So we're just going to use this one because it's kind of empty, which is what we want. We're going to copy that. Can I copy that? All right, open the containing folder. Do it this way then. So we need to call this screen 20. And then we need to make some changes in here to make that match. So screen 20 here, and this needs to be persist 20. So if there's anything on this screen that will persist, it would use this. There actually isn't anything on this screen, so actually I can probably get rid of that. I need to find a screen that has nothing in it. So by FF, so I can get rid of that completely, because there is no persistent stuff on this screen. So let's get rid of the persistence. That's cool. We don't need a bonus pod on this screen. Register entities. We don't need these either, because entities are things like mines and stuff like that. We don't need any of those. We will need a door though. So we need to look at the way the doors work in here. So we add a door like this. And then we do door updates. So we'll come to the doors in a second, but we'll keep that one open. But this is the basic screen. For some reason I've renamed the wrong one in here. So that should be 21. It's all fine. And this one should be 20. There we go. So let's get rid of 21 on here. Okay, cool. So this is just giving us the code to run the screen. As I say, every screen has its own logic. That means we can deal with things like shutting the door when you first enter the screen and such. I don't know why that's appeared that way up. The image must have been taken that way around. I think most. Let me just check that in the background library. Hang on, because it will show up that way. No, you see, it's that way around in the. Yeah, look, it's that way around. So it must have been taken the other way around, and it's just the metadata is telling it to spin round, or there's some kind of detection on it, something. Okay, so the other thing we need to do is in the map loader. Sorry, not the map loader, the loader in here. We need to add that screen in. So we need to make sure we load the code in for that screen. And that also means we need to find it in here and load it in here as well. So by default, screens all use screen 00, which is just an empty file which does nothing. Basically, exactly what we've got at the moment in here, which is probably where I should have copied it from, thinking about it. And that's that's loaded in, and this is just the default for any screen. So every screen by default will load something. It has to in order for it to run through, various kind of behaviors correctly in it, the update and the exit and stuff. Not the behaviors, kind of states, if you like, of the screen states. But we need to load in, when we need specific code, we load a specific code file for it and then do stuff. So this is what we're going to do in here. All right, so let's make the door work. So the way I see the door working, this is, where was the one? Let's load one with the actual door in it. Okay, so this one's actually got a door in it. So after the persistence, we can put whatever we want, wherever we want. This stuff here needs to be in this order. You can see the +0, the +3, the +6, the +9. This is so that the routine that runs the code for each screen knows exactly where to find the init, the update, the exit, and the persistence data. After that, we can put whatever we want, wherever we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some stuff in here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable called screen visited. And this is going to start with 0. Basically, this is going to be what tells us whether or not that door is open or not. If you've already been in this screen, that door will be open, because once you go in this screen, the door will shut and you can't get out until you've killed everything on the screen. So by checking this first, we know whether or not we need to set the door up. So that's what we're going to do here as well. We're going to have a door state. The door is going to start open, and we're going to close it as we go in. So we've got door state is 0 here, which means close. So we're going to say 1 for open. Let's make these. Let's keep them. Okay, so that's fine. All right. Tiny arms. Apple phones tend to flip them like that. Yeah, I had a funny feeling it was a phone thing. I think the phone has obviously taken it that way round, but it probably includes some metadata to say rotate this, which obviously I'm not reading any metadata in the image, so it's easily fixed. I can just copy and paste it into another JPEG and it will be absolutely fine. But I'm not doing that now. Right, that's the first mojito down. Let's move on to the second one. Can't you combine the bytes into one since it's only a yes no? Yeah, I can do actually, can't I? I mean, it's kind of inconsistent with what I'm doing elsewhere, but let's yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's do let's call it door state. Oh, actually, there's already just call it door screen state, and let's make that 0. Let's do it like this, and then it's obvious what I'm doing. And then let's put a little thing in here. So bit 0 equal door is open. Bit 1 equals screen was already visited. So the cool thing about these screens is they're stateful, right? So once they're loaded from ROM in this state, so they reset automatically by when you restart the game. The game gets all this gets loaded into from ROM into RAM, which means they automatically reset. So we never need to reset these, but they stay in RAM the whole time that you're playing the game. So if we visit the screen and then we set this to 1, or this one here. Actually, do you know what? We're probably not saving anything by doing that, because we have to do more work to actually read them. Let me think about this. Yeah, I'm going to revert it, because it's actually more work, more bytes to actually set them and clear them than it would be to store them in one. So I'm gonna keep it that way around, because it's the difference between doing this. So say I want to say that the screen has been visited. Uh, like that, or I would have to do uh, let's say it's the same thing. I would have to do that. So actually, the bytes that I save would be taken up by doing this anyway. So I'm just going to keep it in two. Not the case on the Mega 65 though. On the Mega 65, it would be the same, because you would just do you know you would do that. So it would be the same as doing it the other way, which is probably one of the reasons they did it, to do memory saving. So do you need both, since they will change accordingly? Um, yes, because the door state is going to be. I need to think about this actually a little bit, but for now, I just want to get the functionality in. But so basically, we need to add the switch, like the door, like this. Now, adding a door will automatically load stuff into the screen. So it needs to be in the init section, because this is going to load stuff into the font itself. We also need to do a check here if we've already visited the screen. So if we have already visited the screen, then we don't do the door at all. At all. We don't need to draw it. Otherwise, we do need to draw it. It needs to be drawn as open, which I think is to do with this. Let me just check what the add door function is doing in screen macros. Uh, oh, this is already doing some weird combining of values. Okay. Um, I don't think that is actually needed, because we don't need to remember the door state. So we don't actually need that either. So this would just be like that, because we don't need to remember the door state. The door is either been, yeah. So you're right in what you say, Nicomo, as well. They will change accordingly. Yeah, do you know? I'm going to give you 5 points for that as well, because I think that's spot on. Okay, cool. I love these massive series. It's going to take so long for everyone to figure out. Okay, so we need to check if we've already visited the screen. If we have already visited the screen, then we go to no door. It's going to be here. Okay? Otherwise, we display the door. Now, as soon as we display the door, we can change this value, right? So um, we'll figure out if that's actually the right thing to do here or not. We can probably. So I don't know how that's going to end here. So yeah, I'll do it like that. It's fine. Incrementing would work, but if you went in and out the screen 255 times, it would treat it like you'd never been in there before. So no, so that's fine. That's fine. All right, so let's do that. So okay, so now we've got that. We need to do door update stuff. So the door update stuff is basically. So we've got a hit switch there. We don't need the hit switch, but we do need to know. Oh, update. Okay, if the door is open, then jump straight to set color. Oh, we just have doors update. Okay, so I'm going to put doors update in. I think that's going to be enough. And let's have a look at what happens when we do that. So the only other thing we need to do is, as soon as we've entered the screen, so as soon as this has happened, we need to start. Actually, we can do this in here instead. I'll show you why. So as soon as we enter the screen, we need to do a check. In the first update, we need to say, so let's do no door again here. It's just indent these. I don't like the indentation. Thank you very much, Screamlark, for the follow. Appreciate it. Cheers to you. Okay. So the very last thing we're going to do in here is we're going to set screen visited. But now we need to trigger the door to actually close, and that's done by where is it? Hit switch. Here we go. Oh, okay. Do we need to save the door? Okay, no. We know the door is going to be position 0. There's only one door on the screen, so that's fine. If there was multiple doors, we'd have to save the index, but we've only got one door, so that's fine. But we are going to need to. That seems weird. Oh yeah, so it's just that one. All right. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're setting the new state of the door to say it's the door that's going to close. So we set the door to 0. We say that's the next state for the door, and then we say that we've visited the screen, so that the next time we come into this function, this doesn't run again. So this is only going to run once. Let's actually just change that a little bit. Let's do it like this. There we go. We can save a byte then by doing this. So close the door. Okay. And then after that, all we do is we do the door update. So now if we run this, what we should see is when we go into the screen, it should move the door down and close the door. So nice. That's the good thing with a big series like the 87 series of games. That's going to be one where you can kind of you're going to have to guess a lot of them anyway, but you can there's a good chance you will get some of them by guessing. So and it's going to be such a feeling of satisfaction when that last screen gets cleared, the last background gets discovered. That's going to feel great, isn't it? Yeah, I might add in that I need to think how to do it, because with a thing like with 87 images, that's going to spam a lot the chat. So why is that not loaded? What's going on there? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I've accidentally put in here. Should be 21. There we go. Yeah, it was shockingly fast. Game was very very quick to create this. Okay, so it's not run this piece of code at all because I'm not seeing a door. So let's do some little checks. Let's start by just incrementing the border. See if we see that. This is the fun bit now, because most of the logic is in place now, so it's just a matter of going through each screen and adding the new things in. There's a few little things like the Robotron screens which do obviously need a little bit more work, but the basics are there. Okay, so it is getting into here. So now let's take a quick look at the code. Have I just done something really stupid? Load screen visited 0. Okay, so it's not equal to 0 goes here. Otherwise, we add a door. door gets added at this position. I don't know why. I think I've got horizontal and vertical mixed up. Because there's a vertical door, but for some reason I've got these mixed up. For now, it's fine, but I may have to revisit them at some point. But why is this door? Let's put it on 0. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we should see the door at least. Okay, so we can see the door. It does need moving down. Actually, I do kind of want to fix that before we go on. Let's just go and have a look at doors. Yeah, see, this should be vertical. This should be all right. Fine. There's only 2 doors in the game at the moment. So let's just switch them around like so. There. It's moving 2 down on this screen, I believe. So let's move this down to 11. Okay, let's give that another try. Things that you now have tariffs. That would be 87 million, not 87. I think that's right. Uh, yeah, that is right. Okay, it's the black bit there puts me off a little bit, but it is correct. Okay, the door is there and it's closed. So let's get rid of the flashy now because that's going to drive me mad if I keep that in. I can get rid of that screen now. I don't need that. All right, so we're looking at this screen. So we don't need that. That's definitely happened. So this is the first time we come in. So let's do that here. Let's change that to 1. See if it just opens if we do this. So we should get 1 flash of the border when we go in, although it'll probably get set back to black again, I think. Okay, so the door did open. That's good. And the border color changed. And it changed once. So let's try playing around a little bit with this now. So let's set this back to 1 again, I believe. Set that to 0. Okay, so not sure why we're not seeing the door close. We see it open but not close. This is a bit worrying. It's definitely running the code, but then it's not drawing the door. So let's figure out why that is the case. Let's go and have a look at let's look at screen 11 again. So this has a door in it, which is triggered by this switch. And all that does is set that to 1. There is no other thing in here that uses door stays, just for this bit. Animation for the frames. No, okay, right. Let's feet's feeling. Do you have a closing animation? Yeah, it should do. It's just should just work both ways, as far as I remember. If we go into here in the update, it should check if the states match, and if the states don't match, and then it should do the animation between them, whichever way it is. So let's see update. Okay. Do we have any doors on this screen? Is the frame timer ready? Yeah. Compare current to next state. So it should be looking at this and comparing it to the current state. So I just want to check that the screen macro is actually doing the right thing. So adding the door, it actually sets the accumulator equal to whatever value we pass in doubled, which I think is just because we're using bits to store the value in the door add anyway. So just looking at rest date. Yeah, so is the door vertical? Is the first byte, that's that one. Then we grab that and we store that in the state and the next state. So actually whatever value we pass in the accumulator becomes the door's current state. So let's have a look and see if that door code is being run if we change states. So in the update, if the states don't match, compare them both here. If they're equal, we jump to skip. Otherwise, we're going to do this bit here. So if the doors don't match, it should run this piece of code. Let's get rid of that one. And the door starts open. All right, so let's see. So in theory, we should get an update all the time. So orc gambling. Okay, so it happened once and then didn't happen again. Okay, now I think that's because at some point the state is okay, maybe it isn't drawing going backwards. Draw door. If door animation is completed, carry flag is set here. Okay, maybe it doesn't go that way. Maybe I thought I had got it going both ways, but maybe not. So I think this is being hit here. So let's just put that in here. So if it goes red, that means that the door is technically finished opening or finished closing. What's your thoughts on putting the Mega 65 macros into that version of Kick-Ass? I definitely think the basic Upstart 65 is a good one to do. I would have a word with Jesper, because he's the one who did the original. Yeah, that is finished. Okay, so it thinks it's finished in the door. He's the one that did the original the original opcodes and stuff for he did the original opcodes for the Kick Assembler jar file, so he did the original updates. So I'd have a word with him about what's going on with that, because he did it for Kick C. But it might be worth adding at least the basic upstart stuff. I don't know about the DMA stuff. That's, I mean, maybe it would be nice, but I would. The thing with the DMA stuff is it's kind of it's nice that you can see it there because you can edit it and stuff. Mode enables. I'm not so sure as well. Oh, no problem. Court of Rig. Good night. Take care. Because it doesn't really. The thing with the basic upstart is it just creates a little byte sequence that kind of takes that label and creates a basic byte sequence that kind of fits in with Kick Assembler. I think anything outside of that probably doesn't fit. So, but definitely the basic upstart 65. I don't think anything that that actually pokes memory addresses and stuff would make sense, because then it becomes very abstracted. You don't really know what's going on. I think it's good to see what's going on in those things. The basic upstart is there because you need to write a little basic program. So all right, let's carry on with this. So what's happening is the door is starting to open, so it's getting to here, and then this bit here is returning the carry set to say that the animation is complete. So I think what's happening is the door animation itself is going the wrong way. So it's kind of doing a full open and then it's saying, okay, I'm finished now. So let me just see, is there anything else I need to add into the data? Next day, animation pause, maybe this needs to be maybe that needs to be the no, because it thinks it's opening. That's the problem. All right, so let's have a look. So we've got draw door. Is it draw door? Yeah, this one. So this is getting the door position, and this is working out if it's animating. So if the door is jumped to mid animation code. Okay. Oh, it's the door animating. Okay. Just write that in there so it's more obvious. Okay, so this actually compares the two states again. They're not going to be equal, so it needs to jump to mid animation, which is here. Are we opening or closing? So this is going to work out if we're opening or closing. This is the opening. So let's put an increment in here. So what we should see now is it should go from white to red, and then it's going to go to cyan again. So if we see a cyan border, that means we've got into the right section in here. This all seems a little bit weird to keep. Why is that not compiling now? Because I'm in the wrong file. Yeah, the basic upstart is definitely should be done because that's an existing kick macro, right? So that makes sense to do. I think everything else, as Andy says, is like a library. So okay, so that didn't do what I thought it was going to do. That's gone red. So that means that something has failed around here. So let's move this up to here and see if we actually get to the mid animate. Oops, get to the mid animation stuff. Wow, it's going to take me longer to do this than I was anticipating, but it's fine. That seems to be the theme, isn't it? The ongoing theme of everything I've done recently. Okay, so that is actually we're actually reaching that point. So we're definitely reaching this point. So we're saying the next state is oh, hang on. It's open is 1, so if it's 0, it should be closing. Okay, so wait, this should not be. Just going to check. I don't think my breakpoint. Oh, my breakpoints will they work in? I think they will work in Vice. I think. Find out now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So X is 0, which is fine. What's the sec for? Okay, so that. Oh, it's for if you if the door is finished opening, it's a return value basically. Okay, so let's take a quick look. Where did I put that breakpoint? Okay, so Brunswick will close in. So let me just check the line before that. Whoops. So this one here, OAD5. So run OAD5 is 0 as well. So that's saying the next state is. Oh, that's saying the next state is 0. Wait, I could have got that just by reading the accumulator, couldn't I? Yeah. Okay, right. So that's the problem. Next state is incorrect. Okie dokie. Right. In that case, we should be able to figure out what's going on then. So, just to go back to what's happening here, on the update, we check if these two are the same or not, and it says that they're not. In which case, we come to here and we do the draw door. Now, the door is open, so this should be on 0, and next state should be 0, 1. So that means that either the X is wrong at this point. Wait, how? No, how can these be wrong? Hang on. Okay, we'll just work our way backwards through the code until we find it. Oh, I like this. This is a good series, actually. I like this series. This should be pretty easy for, I think, for most of the people on this stream should be able to guess all of these ones already. I don't know if you can see that, actually. Let's just move right off so you can see it. See my knee as well. Flashing a bit of knee at you there. Yeah, mine too. That's why it's there. Paranoia is great. There is a PC game of it as well. I played it a little bit, but I haven't actually I haven't played it in any depth. But I do want to kind of play through it because it's one of those RPGs that I've always wanted to play again, and there hasn't really been a way to do it. So, um, and easier actually. No, I think it is. It's very easy, this one. Okay, so let's take a look at the OAD3. So OAD3 is 0, 1. So that's our state. And our next state is 0. Okay, so this should. Okay, so we should come to here, which we will do. Then we go to draw door, which is up here. And then we jump to mid animation here, which comes down to here. And then our next state should be 0. So it should jump to closing. So it should jump to this position. Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, it should jump to this position. I think I just got it wrong. Putting it in here. It's not opening, it's closing. Yeah. Hey, my command, welcome. Yeah, you can kill all the players without gear. It was really good. It was a lot of fun as a GM, that game. A lot of fun because you felt kind of a little bit evil. But also the game was kind of rigged hugely against the players. It was almost impossible to not kind of die constantly in that. And there was just some really funny stuff. Like you had you had security clearances for everything, and so you'd be issued weapons, but you wouldn't know how to use them. Like the security clearance to actually be able to use an item to properly know how to use it. Like the cone rifle, I think was one of them, which had a tactical nuke as one of the potential outcomes of firing it. And only if you had the like super high clearance could you control what it fired. So it was always a case of you've got this gun, and if you fire it, there's a chance it's going to let a tactical nuke off 10 meters away from you. Um, oh yeah, and getting people to fill out forms as well. Yeah, there was lots of like weird forms in the book. I remember stuff in the book like that. It was such a cool. Oh, that's worked perfectly. Hang on, is this actually working? No, all right. What do you want about here now? Where you want about? Load, comma X, increment it, and store it. V10. Uh, Possibly, but I need to compare as well. So I need to do these. I would still have to load it anyway. So I'd have to do that and then load the value as well, comma X. So I mean, it would save a couple of bytes, I guess. Um, Actually, can you do that? Can you increment comma? I'm not sure if you can do that actually. Well, let's find out. Actually, if it is, I'll give you 5 points for that if it works. Let's do it that one first. Is it important for the carry flag? No, it's not. Okay, because that would save me a couple of cycles, a couple of bytes. Yeah. Checked, of course. Okay, well, let me do that in here and here as well, because that does save me a couple of bytes. So that's kind of nice. Let's just make sure that's all working though first. Problem is, it's not working anyway at the moment because of the thing, but it will compile if it compiles properly. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, that's fine. You've got your first points for the night, Andy. 5 points for optimizing. Okay. So it's getting into this section because we can see the color change. But I think this animation pause needs to be set. I think that's the problem. That is the problem. Okay, so that's easy enough to fix. We can do that in here. Okay, so when we add a door, here basically, we need to actually change some things here. So if the door is already open, we need to set its animation pause to something different. Um, so basically, if the door is closed, no, it's not right, is it? Door length. It's oh, it is door length. Oh yeah, of course, because that's how many character. Yeah, okay. Door length. So and then I can branch not equal to set door. Yeah, I think that should fix it. All right, let's give it a try. What's the purpose of the? Yeah, it's a return value. So that door routine, when you draw the door, it should return carry if the it should set the carry if the door has finished its animation. So it can just branch as soon as we come out of it. So hopefully now I'm gonna go in here. Oh, but the door is closing. Awesome. Right, so I need to take the breakpoints out and stuff. So let's do that. So start by getting rid of all the border increments, which I don't think are in here now. I think I removed them out here. Oh, there's a break. Okay, so get rid of that one. Oh, there is a, yeah, there we go. Get that one. Get that one. Okay. And now if I look in draw door, I just need to check that. So the problem is that the animation's position. So there was as well as the door being open or closed, it needs to know where it is in the animation frame, if you like. So an open door is at animation frame 0, and a closed door is at animation frame 0, and as it moves towards open, that animation frame moves up towards the length of the door. That's how many positions it's been retracted. So on the counter of that, if a door is open, then it needs to start at that position and move down towards 0 as it closes. And we weren't doing that. We were just always treating it as 0. So it was always it's one way or the other. I can't remember if it's 0 or which side it is, but basically there was only one side of the door being drawn. So it was always thinking that it had finished because the check was going. Oh yeah, we're at the end. We're at the end of the list now. So okay, so that's everything there. Okay, let's give that a quick try. I think that's going to work now. And then we can move on to. I feel like I should do the warning thing. Maybe I can put a placeholder in for it. Yeah, I'll do that. Because we've only got about an hour left, so I'll do the placeholder for the warning stuff before I move on. Yeah, there we go. So the door closes behind you now. I think maybe it should delay a little bit, but it kind of does need to prevent you from going back out. So I think that's fine. Um, still old HVSC. Yeah, I haven't had time to update it yet. So. Does the door still work on other screens? Good point. Let's check that out. Should do. So the only other door is on the laser screen, so we'll just go and check that one up there. Oh, shit, now it's going to blow up. Oh, bollocks. So the only other one is up here. Oh, we need to do the collision for that laser. I did have it working and then I turned it off because I was trying to fix the bug. Yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, it remains open. Awesome. All right, let's Okay, let's go back down here, deal with that. Okay, yeah, let's put the warning thing in. I think that can be pretty quick. In fact, let's see if I can. Maybe I can very quickly formulate this. If I can draw it in here. So let me take all. Let me create a new one of these. If I can draw it in here, and then I can just use binary to represent on and off for the bits. So it'd be quite small. It won't be huge because I only have to represent whether a thing is turned on or not, right? So let's make it red. Do it like this. Right, okay, so there's our character. Let's go and grab the video. Let's just scroll it back to the beginning of the warning. Take a look at exactly what it does. So it's flashing between white and red. So what we can do is in that middle section, we can just do, I mean, this is, I don't know how many lines it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. Thank you very much for the follow, Ebenezer Prime. I appreciate it. Cheers. So I think what we can do is we can draw this and then in characters and then just set the color white on one frame on all 8 lines, red on the next frame, and so on and so on. That should be very, very easy. Video did freeze 3 seconds for you. Oh, okay. It could be because it's low late. The problem with low latency, the problem with the low latency is it means you're more prone to buffering. I think I can change the buffering amount. I will take a look at doing that at some point. Oh, and I've still been having problems with my internet as well. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it's still broken. So I'm a little bit pissed off with them. Okay, so I think this is 8 high, 6, 7, 8. And I don't know how wide this is, but that's going to be too wide there, isn't it? And then this is going to be too wide as well. Just want to see if this is going to fit, or if it's some like weird, because it might not actually be what we think it is. It might not be, because this isn't necessarily characters. This is done in Unity, the original. So getting it to look exactly the same might not actually work. We might have to make some sacrifices and change this slight bit. In fact, I can tell already this isn't going to fit. So might have to trim this down a little bit. So let's start building it and see where we run out of space. For a start, this is going to be 36 wide, and that is definitely going to run out. So I think it's going to have to be something like this instead. Yeah. So let's take some liberties with this a little bit and change it to match. So instead of doing it too thick, we're going to do it 1 thick for each one, which does mean it's going to look a bit odd in places. See, it's not too bad. Let's try and keep with that theme for now. I'm not sure. So it's all right. Make char bars only one pick. Yeah. Oh, one. Is that what you were talking about? Yeah. I think that's what you meant, isn't it? Yeah. So if I take that and then I shift it over twice, that's actually that's a little. Maybe I'll do it like that. Did it at the time. Okay, I think I need to thicken the top. I need to stylize it a bit, I think, just to get rid of the kind of odd feeling that it's got. I think that looks a bit better. So if you imagine that kind of in the middle of the screen like that, that's fine. And conveniently, that is exactly 32 character spaces across. Is it worth? Yeah, maybe actually. That's not a bad idea. If I bring the bottom up, so if I do like this instead. Yeah, I like that. Actually, then maybe that would. No, I still like that heavy top on it. I think that looks all right. Yeah, cool. That'll do. Good night, Codrusol. Take care. Thank you. The eye still looks a little bit odd. Yes, because maybe it's not heavy top. The thing is, I don't like these bits here, so that's why I'm putting these chunks in to kind of get rid of them. Otherwise, they look a little bit empty like that. Actually, that doesn't look too bad, does it? I mean, the other option is to square off the N's and the A's, but then I think they look a bit odd as well. I mean, for something that's going to appear on the screen very briefly, I think it's fine. It's quite square on here, isn't it? It's square on there. It's kind of inconsistent on here, actually. Okay, I think we'll go with that. Let me. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's kind of close enough. I've kind of done this on this side just to the. It looks a bit different, but it doesn't look kind of because that looks too square. That kind of gives it the same kind of thing, and it still looks all right. So the reason I want to go with that is that so that wouldn't fit dead center, whereas that would fit dead center. This is also exactly 32 pixels across. The vertical line of the 1 pixel to the top. You mean that one there? It looks kind of broken like that though. I think it's. I'm trying to copy that. The problem is that uses the fact that it's too wide to kind of fill that bit in there, if you like. Um, that doesn't look quite right. That looks wrong. No, I think I prefer it square. The one in the middle. What? I'm not sure what you mean. You mean like that? Oh, you mean lift the bar these bits up? Okay. Is that what you meant? The middle line, A and R. Okay, yeah, all right, got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, that looks all right. All right, let's go with that. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to convert this into binary just manually. There's zero point in doing this with any export or anything. So I'm just going to shift this onto this screen so I can see it. Uh, let's change. How is it? This screen 20. Yeah, it is this screen. All right, okay, cool. So we can put some stuff in here. So I'm going to call this warning. And this is just going to be basically that thing exactly represented as binary. So 1010. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. So I need to do this on every line, so bear with me a minute while I do this. It shouldn't take too long. Hopefully it should kind of show itself a little bit on the thing when it's done as well. But this will allow me to draw to the screen pretty quick. So started doing the new feature composer. You should definitely think about adding Mega 65 support, because the reason I say this is there is somebody on the Mega 65 forums who's doing a quad SID tracker that also includes sample playback as well, and potentially OPL as well. So you would have some serious competition there, because the player is also going to include the player, and I assume if it's any good, it would work well for the C64 as well. So just be aware that there is kind of competition out there as well. So that's what I guess a lot of it comes down to the player as well. And if it can support sound effects, that's a huge plus. And I realize for a demo coder, sound effects are not that important. But the main reason people use Goat Tracker over anything else, I would say, is for games. That is because it supports sound effects. The only other one I know that does that, I think, is Sid Wizard. I think does, but that's a native C64 thing. So if you can get it to support sound effects as well, then you are going to get a lot of people using it, especially from the gaming community anyway. So just going to knock here to say which ones I've done. Okay. Sorry, I'm silent while I'm doing this because I'm concentrating on the binary. I know it's not the most interesting thing in the world. Also, it's really hurting my feet, this chair, for some reason. Blood's rushing to my feet, funny. Okay. I copied the line. That's silly. Right. Yeah, definitely. I think anybody who is doing a tracker nowadays needs to support. At the very least, they need to support sound effects. If you can make a tracker that also supports quad SIDs, then you are going to get pretty much every Mega 65 dev using it. If you can add support for DMA sample playback, then you absolutely will get people using it. I mean, I certainly definitely will be using it myself if that's the case. keep people entertained in the quiet bit. So you're doing raffles. God, you raffle addicts, you're so bad. Okay, right, there we go. So we've got 7 lines now of this. So this isn't actually going to fit neatly in the middle. This is going to be slightly up or slightly down, but it's not too bad. I think vertically it's okay, but could it load in Amiga mods? Yes, it can. So the cool thing about it is we can play an Amiga mod and then at the same time have 12 channels of SID music, Panables SID channels. Um, so it's actually 6 channels on each ear, so 2 SIDs on each ear, but you can use those to pan sounds as well. So you can have 12 kind of positional SID channels over the top of a mod music at the same time. And technically, when OPL 2 is introduced as well, you could also have OPL 2 over the top. So if you can imagine using like OPL 2 for like strings and things like that, which you'd be very good at, and orchestral sounds would be very good at, then using DMA channels for drum beats and voice samples maybe, and then using SID for all the tonal noises on top of that. It would be incredible. There's going to be some amazing music, maybe that's for sure. Okay, so this is our warning here now. Now, the only thing we don't have at the moment is a completely solid character. So let me just double check, because maybe we do have something in. I want to say, I don't know which one of these is the most recent. Oh, hang on. Oh, I mean, these look like they're. Well, that looks like it's the most recent. Okay, so we have this one here, but I need to check where that is in the base set, because there is a base set of characters. Okay, so we do have one. So this character here is always going to be in this position. This is never going to change. So that makes this nice and easy. So character 3 is always going to be there. So let's put. Okay. So, again, if we've not visited the screen, then this is the first thing we need to do. We need to draw this. So at the same time we do this and we set the door up here, we also need to set the warning up. So init warning, let's call it. And let's put it here. Okay, so the screen is, I think it's at C00. I can't actually remember where it is now. Let's, yes, it's C00. Okay, so if we want to draw this in the middle, we're going to be drawing it kind of round about here, I'd say. Hang on. 6, 7, 8. No, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's not quite going to fit level with that door, is it? That's a shame. All right. C1, B8. So B8, B9, BA, BB, BC. C1, BC. Okay, so let's draw. Uh, 7 rows. You can always move them up and down anyway. Okay, so the way this is going to work, we need to read all of these bytes from here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start, we'll use some self-mod code for this. So we're going to load the address of the warning, and we'll call this byte fetch. The reason I'm using self-mod code is because we only need to really run this once at the beginning. I don't want to use zero page for this at all. This will be absolutely fine. And basically, we're just doing this. We're just grabbing a character here. So this needs to happen how many times? Okay, so this needs to happen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28 times. We will use zero page for this, and the reason I'm going to use zero page for this is it just makes this little section a little bit. Oh, actually, so let's do this. Let's do it this way. Let's hang on. Right. So load this with 0 and work our way through. All right. So we're gonna do this. So we're going to grab the war. In fact, we don't even need that then. In that case, we can just do this. We don't need to use self mod at all. We can just do it like this. All right. I don't know why I was going down the self mod route, but fine. Typo. All right, cool. Yeah. Ways are the true ways. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so we need to load that byte in, and then we need to do 8 shifts on it. So I am going to take this value. I'm going to set it to 8. So right, let's have a think about this. So this is our bit counter, and then actually we need to store that X. Okay, so I'm going to store X, rest X, because we're going to need that back in a minute. Okay, so this is our yeah. Seems a little bit weird, this, but this is because we're going to have a loop here. So we need to make sure that this value is reset. So we're going to reset it to 0, and then we're going to use this to work our way through this this list here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab one byte at a time, and we are going to store. There is going to be hang on. Yes, there is going to be a self mod here for the screen stuff. So the way this is going to work, really simple. We're going to grab that, and then we're going to shift one bit off at a time. So we're going from here to here. So we're going from the left hand side to the right hand side. So we need to shift everything to the left. So what we're going to do is every time here. So this is our we'll call this our bit loop. We're going to shift like that. And if that value is clear, so if the carry flag is clear, then we don't do anything. So skip. However, if the carry flag is not clear, then we need to draw something here. So the other thing we need to do for this loop as well is we need to keep track of. I need to think about how to do this. Best way to do this. Thank you for the follow, MFS. Very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. Interestingly, this is very similar to what you guys were doing with the PK6 challenge as well, which I should probably just go and steal the code from, right? But anyway, so what we need to do is we need to store that value. Well, let's put the value in first. So CB1C is where we would be storing that value, and that value would be 0.3. Okay, now this needs to increment as we move across, right? So this needs an index on it as well. So I am going to put a 0 here. So I'm going to load this with 0. So it'd be like that, right? No, you see, this X is going to throw things out a little bit here. Okay. Okay, I am going to use self mod instead here. Okay, so get it right in a minute. But yeah, this is pretty much the PK6 challenge that you guys were doing. Just call it fetch. Without a shadow. And I'm not interested in cycle bytes at all, so the optimization is not a big problem. But it's the same kind of logic that's going on. Okay, so we're going to load this value from here. This is going to be our screen across the screen counter here. which we need to reset. So this is our screen column counter. Okay, and then we need to also set this would be 28, so 1C. And I'll put this at the end here. So let's just call this byte counter. So basically, every time we reset the this gets down to 0, this needs to decrease by 1, and then we need to fetch again. So we come back to here. Fetch needs to increment every time that happens as well. So we're getting the next one in the list. Hey Warlock, good morning to you. How are you doing? Thank you very much for the resub. 14 months. Wow. Cheers, my man. So PK6 was a challenge we did. God, when was it? I think it was May. I think it was the May's challenge. Where I set a challenge where if I passed I passed 3 characters into a routine, and you had to draw those characters on the screen using the ROM font, the font that was in ROM, with a drop shadow. It's very interesting. If you check out Discord, you will see in the shadow chat. Oh yeah, you will remember it. Yeah, it was called PK6 because that was the example everybody used when they were posting screenshots. They were posting screenshots of their progress, and they always used PK6 as the 3 characters. So it's become known as the PK6 challenge to me. But yeah, shadow chat. Of course, you know it. Yeah. It's actually a background as well. If you do, there is a background for it as well. Okay, so let's have a look. So we're storing the byte counter. Great. Okay, so this is what's going to count down. So the first thing it's going to do, we reset the column counter. We need to set this. Okay, so we also need to set this value here. So let's call this screen fetch. So screen target. And this would be let's do it here, and then it makes sense. So that's above it here. See. Okay, cool. I hope I'm saving bytes. I think I am saving bytes. I think if I was to do that all as, because that would be 8 rows, yeah, I'm saving loads of bytes. It's fine. Just trying to make sure that this is actually worth doing or not. But it is, so it's fine. Somebody put the spiral on instead. I was hoping someone would do the PK6 background. Oh, I've come up with a great theme as well for the music challenge in October. So I've got that planned ahead. The only thing I haven't got planned ahead is the next C64 optimization challenge. But I've definitely got the music challenge sorted. And I think I'm probably going to do a graphical challenge in November as well. So any budding artists as well, look out for November's where we'll be doing a graphical one as well. It'll be like I'm not sure if it's going to be a bitmap or what, but it's going to be you have to just use in the limitations of the Mega 65. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be some kind of themed bitmap or something, but just basically draw what you want in 256 colors, pretty much. That's what it's going to be. Anyway, that will have to be judged, I guess. That one, I guess, the music one will have to be as well. So I might find a way to have those judged without. I guess it will be like anonymous. It will be an anonymous submission. So you submit, and I don't tell it. You don't share it with anybody, music or image, and then we play them on stream, and people vote. I guess. I don't know. I have to have a think about it. I have to have a think about it. Okay. Okay, so we've got the target set up. That's here. Let's change that to beef so you can see it. So this is gonna, at this point here, reset the column counter, grab the first byte, and then it's going to take 8 bits off this byte one at a time, decreasing y every time because this is our bit counter. If that's not equal to 0, we go back to bit loop, and we keep doing this. Each time x should increment, and then once we get to the end of this, we've done one section of the character. So then we need to increment fetch. So we definitely need to increment this now. So actually, we can do this quite easily like this. I think it's probably not on a border, but I am going to just do it like that anyway, just to make sure. So that's going to make sure that this increments. Then the other thing we need to do is we need to check to see if this has reached the end of a row. So compare x to our row is 32 long, so we're going to compare it to 20. Bunch equal next row. However, if we've not reached the end of the row, then we can just jump straight back to here and get the next byte. So actually, let's change that for branch not equal loop. Otherwise, we're on the next row. If we're on the next row, then what do we need to do? In that case, what we need to do is we need to reset x to 0. So we can do that either by jumping back to here. We'll do. So let's just do that here. Oh, careful Twitch. Oh, with the images. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll make that a rule. I will check the images before I display them, but I feel like there probably should be. I think it does have to be judged. I can't think of a way to do images and music in because otherwise you could just you could just draw a circle on a bitmap and there you go. You're in with a chance of winning. With the games, it's a bit more involved, I think. So writing a game can take you easily the whole month. Writing a piece of music or drawing an image, you could probably do in a day or two. So I don't know. I don't want to just award people for just drawing a circle on a background, calling it a bitmap. So there needs to be something. Same with the music as well. So there will be a kind of judging component to it. I'm not sure how it would work. Whether it would be vote on the stream, or whether it would be a panel of judges or something. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. But that'd be October and November. All right, so another one down. Let's get on to the last one. Timing's kind of worked out all right for these. So the only thing I really need is a C64 challenge for September. Okay, so if it's on the next row, then what do I need to do? I need to add 28 to the screen target. So uh, okay, so that increments the screen target. Now, the only other thing I do need to do at this point is I need to check that the row counter or this byte counter hasn't reached 0. So every time we load from here, it needs to be decreased. So what I need to do is whenever this is finished here, I also need to decrease byte counter. And if that equals 0. Jump to exit, which would be here. Okay. Okay, seems like a lot of code, but I'm hoping that will just work straight away. Probably won't, but we'll see. You're the Tomb Raider. Vampire the Masquerade. Oh, okay. Oh, come on, you guys must know what this is by now. This series is kind of easy, really. Bit loop is here, and it's got a capital L, which is why that's wrong. So inconsistent with my things. So hopefully this is just going to draw the word warning across the screen in white, probably. And then we can look at how to update and remove. Oh, okay, that's done some weird stuff. But it has drawn it. I was trying to draw it. I'm not entirely sure what it's done there. Yeah, let's have a look. Something obviously gone horribly wrong there. So you get when you draw a lot of code and without running it once. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we start at this position here, and we set the byte counter to be 1C. Okay, cool. Then what do? We reset X, we grab a byte, and then 8 times. So that's this section here. Let's just indent that a little bit. We shift it to the left, which should pop whatever it is into the carry flag. If the carry flag is clear, then we don't need to draw anything. Otherwise, we do need to draw something, and we need to draw it at this position, comma X. That position is going to be C1BC, and X is going to be this value here. That is going to increase every time, and Y is going to decrease, and it's going to do that 8 times and then exit. So let's just put a jump to exit here and see if that draws that top line. So that should, in theory, draw the top of the W. Which it hasn't. It seems to have drawn. I'm not sure what it's drawn there, but it's not drawn what we want it to. Oh, I know why. I know why. It's me being stupid. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you, Andy. I'm going to give you 5 points for that because you pressed it just as I figured it out. So I'm going to class that as you getting it right. Oh my god, I wish I could actually get the names properly. Oh my god. No, it's not letting me grab that name for some reason. It's not letting me give you points. There we go, 5 points again. Yeah, that's exactly what the problem is. So the problem is that I'm shifting it here, but then I'm removing it here. So what I need to do really is I need to shift it, push it onto the stack, and then pull it back off the stack here. Because then this won't bash it. So that should fix that. So this should draw the top of the W now. Cement factory. There we go. That's better. Okay, cool. So let's go and turn the rest of that back on. So let's get rid of that. Should be right now, I think. Self-mod ASL. Yeah, that's a good point. Could do actually. No, it's fine like that. I think it doesn't really. I'm trying to think how that would help. I don't think it really helps very much. There we go, perfect. So it does kind of block you. You can't move. So, but that's fine. That's what we kind of want. What we actually want is as soon as we enter the room, it should pause you. So I'm gonna add a thing in to stop the player from moving while the warning is on. So let's have a think how best to do that. I guess we can just have a freeze player option somewhere, which we can turn on and off. So player in here. Let's do player frozen. Player. Let's keep the consistency. Player is frozen. So all that means is we're just not going to be able to move at this point. We need to make sure that resets. So make sure this is always going to be in it. Yeah. So three there. Yeah. There's probably a lot that's not been reset in here actually. And then in the player control, we just need to make sure that player control can't do anything while we're frozen. So in control, here we go. Load player is frozen. It's not frozen. We jumped here. Otherwise, we return. And that's it. So, and then all we need to do in this is we need to make sure that we freeze the player. So we've init the warning screen. But then we're also going to do. So we can do that here. Player is frozen. Freeze player. Okay, so init. Warning, and then we'll have just a warning counter in here. Let's do it underneath this instead. And again, this isn't going to happen once, so we don't need to reset this every time. We just need to set a value in here, which can tick down. So we'll just set it to 255, we'll tick it down like that. And then we'll use some kind of ANDed value to work out whether it should be drawing white or red. So it's going to draw white to begin with. And then we come into here. So first time we enter. Okay, so the door is going to close behind us. That's fine. And then we update here. Okay, so the update. If warning counter is more than 0, then flash. So here we're going to grab the warning counter. If it's equal to 0, no warning. It means we're done at this point. Otherwise, we need to flash the warning. So what we'll do is we'll jump to flash warning. Do that in here. Okay, so flash warning is essentially just going to take the value that we get from warning counter, which is already in the accumulator at this point. So, and we're going to do some ANDing. So what we'll do is we'll AND it with a particular value to determine one of the bits to determine whether if that bit's on, then we're going to display white. If it's off, we're going to display red. So all we need to do is just pick one of the bits. So obviously the higher the bit is, then the more frequent it's gonna flash, the faster it's gonna flash. So let's pick 04. That'd be every 4 frames it would flash, which is quite a quick flash, right? And then what we can do is we can basically turn this into so this is going to give us a value 4 or 0, right? But if we shift that to the right twice, that's now going to be 1 or 0, and then clear, add 0, 1. We now have a value that's either 1 or 2. Say hi to Musk from the chat. What? Oh, wait, what? What are you on about? Oh, you mean that thing up there? All right, I was on Mars a minute ago. I see. You confused me then for a minute. Okay. Okay, so now we know what color we need to display. All we need to do is draw that on the screen. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually going to store the value in here for where the screen is. So I'm going to do that's where that is, and then I'm going to do, so that would be D9 VC like that, and then it just makes this easier to do. If I want to change things later, it's easy for me to do then. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I will continue till I finish this warning. I guess we'll do the Robotron stuff on the next stream. I was hoping to do it on this stream, but I guess we'll do it on the next stream. That's fine. We're getting the screen set up, which is good, and we're getting some more kind of logic things kind of worked out. It might be that this warning ends up being a separate class somewhere else, so we can use it on multiple screens. Because there are more Robotron screens. I can't remember if it says warning on them all or not. But if it does, then we can always move this out quite easily to another screen, to a shared file, which we then import. Into the screens that need it. For now, though, we'll keep it like this. We'll just plod on like this, and we'll just add Flash in here. Right. Okay. So what does Flash need to do? Flash basically just needs to take this color that we've assigned here, and it needs to draw that 32 times across the screen. So we'll set this value to 1F. This is our loop here, and that will be stored at screen, no, warning colpos. There we go. So it's the color position. I'm just going to do it like this so I can set each one. And that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then I need to add these each time. So actually, let's do this. Let's do this like that. I don't know. It's kind of doesn't make any sense to do times 0, but just makes the calculation a little bit neater to look at. Then I think. Let's do. Actually, let's do it like. Whoops. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, it's damn it! It's freaking VS Code. It lets me do that. Never mind. There we go. Okay, so that's in the update now, so that should flash the whole time. The only thing is, though, now this is just going to keep flashing permanently. But let's just have a look what the flash looks like and get it right, and then once the flash is right, we can make it turn off. Loop one rolling, yeah. I don't see any point in adding to that. You may as well just unroll it like that. You're not really saving many bytes really. Oh, player is frozen. It needs to be make door and freeze. So we do. So hopefully I can't move when I enter this screen, and the thing should just be flashing, and it's not. It's stuck on red. Oh, it's stuck on red because I'm not decreasing the counter. Okay, so let me decrease the counter. All right, I might as well do the rest of it as well then in that case. So flash needs to finally go decrease warning color, no, warning counter. If that's not equal to 0, then we skip ahead to here. Otherwise, if it has reached 0, we now need to, okay, so let's do this. Flash warning colors. Now, does it need to make sure that this, on the final value, this would be 0? No, 1. So that would be set to 0, right? So that bit would be off, which means the color would be white. So the last thing it will do is set to white. That's good. That's what we want. So that means all we need to do is clear warning. And for that, we can pretty much copy that. Oh, no, not that, sorry. Do that. I mean, I could do this where I'm adding this each time, but honestly, I'm not that fussed about it. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I'm working with a 512 kilobytes cartridge, so I've got loads and loads of room. Okay, so it's doing some weird shit down here. I don't know what that's about. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Ah, because it's jumping to here. All right. Exit. Exit. It's my own fault. I should be calling these loops. I should be doing this so it's obvious. I keep saying I'm going to do that. The only time I should be using the unlabeled one is just for skipping ahead a tiny amount, not for loops and stuff. Also, I don't think it lasts quite long enough, so I'm gonna slow it down. Not slow it down, shorten it. I think. Let's have a look. So I think the warning is kind of right. I think it lasts a bit too long though. So let's reduce that right down. So that's just a matter of coming in here and changing this value here, the warning counter. So even half is probably not enough. So let's do it to just less than half. And then the last thing I need to do when it disappears is I need to make sure that this gets reset so we can move again. So that would be here. So the other thing we can also do here, if we want to, is we can trigger the door to start closing a little bit later. So it's a bit more. So if we close it as soon as we enter the screen, your brain is still processing that slide across the screen, right? So you don't really notice. I mean, you will kind of notice the door closing, but it won't be as obvious. Whereas what we can do instead, now we've got a countdown that's happening in here, is we can say at this point, start door closure. And we can move that instead. So instead of closing it here, which actually means we don't need any of this, but because the warning counter would actually, yeah, it means we don't need screen visitor because the warning counter would handle that anyway. So actually, we simplify this quite a bit. So let's just move that. Let's keep that like that for now, but we'll come back and remove that. And we could do this here instead. And the way we would do that is we would check a particular point. So we'll say, okay, when the door, when the warning sign is down to 20, then we'll do this. So a very specific. And it means we should be able to get rid of all of this. Then we don't need any of that. Which means we also don't need. Yeah. So we don't need that. Don't need any of that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That should work quite nicely, I think. Needs to be a background check. What are you on about? Or are you just trying to be punny? I see. I like that. It's more obvious now that the door is shutting behind you. However, I am going to make it happen a little bit sooner. Is it? So, and actually slow this down as well. Speed this up. Sorry. So maybe do that like. There we go. That's a joke. Yeah. Oh my god. That's what the fuck, Shimmerbot. Jesus. Shimmerbot is so bad. Shimmerbot would get booed off stage, I think. Okay, so there is one other thing. The particle is obviously deleting the door, which is a bit of a worry, because the door closes behind it. However, oh, I'm still frozen as well. So I've not been my player control has not been restored. Because I'm saying it to there we go. So why is that happening? So that is happening because because the door is updated in the middle of. Okay, well that's fine because what I can do is something like this in the player exhaust stuff anyway. In fact, it should be like that anyway. You shouldn't see anything. It should just kind of freeze because that's essentially what it's doing. It's not freezing you. It's kind of pausing the game, if you like. So it should be like that, really. Should prevent that from happening as well. But instantly funnier than yours. Well, it's instantly funnier because it's recognizable as a joke. Yours wasn't even recognizable as a joke, Aquafin. It was just bad wordplay. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Cool. Okay, cool. So the only thing is now you're trapped. If you come in this room, you're trapped. Um, yeah, it's not good when you have to laugh at your own jokes so that everybody laughs with you. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I think that looked kind of nice. Let's. The only thing I would say is that it does obscure the player a little bit, which is a little bit worrying. But I do like the delay on the door does add that little bit because you see the one, you see the door close, so your brain is processing three things in nice order rather than what was originally going to happen, which is as soon as the screen appears, you get both the warning and the door close at the same time, and you wouldn't look at both. You would just end up looking at one, so you would miss it a little bit. So no, because you get frozen as well. So the game actually pauses when that happens. Um, Contains flesh in it. There is a warning, an epilepsy warning on the game, um, so that will have to be put in at some point. But yeah, I think that looks really good. One more time, and then I think I'll call it a night. We'll do the other thing next time, the actual Robotron stuff. So yeah, it's just a shame that it nudges you slightly into the warning sign. Although, actually, if I was to trim the warning sign down on that side, let's do that quickly. Not doors. That would prevent that from happening. I don't have any sound effects in at the moment. In fact, I'm not even sure how that's going to work because the music's been done by Jason Page, and he's done it. Yeah, that's better. He's done it with Sid Tracker, which is a little frustrating because it's a little bit heavy. It's like twice the raster time, which is a bit frustrating. But it also doesn't support sound effects as well, so I have to be a bit careful. Um, about how that's done. I'm not sure. I, I don't think it's going to be practical for me to add sound effect support into Sid Tracker's player. I certainly don't want to get I don't want to get Jason to redo it in something else, because I think he's managed to use what he's done with Sid Tracker is amazing. I think it's really, really nice. Sid was it? No, it was Sid Tracker he's used on the iPad. Um, but I do need to. I think what it's probably going to be is you're going to have a choice at the beginning of the game between sound effects and or music, but not both, which is fine. So, Mad Beagles. Just check out the. Actually, I was just going to share this. Oh, hang on. See these Mad Beagles Robotron stuff. That's really cool. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to achieve. I want to achieve a mix of. I think you're doing the same there, aren't you? I think these blue guys are sprites by the looks of things. Um, but yeah, I kind of want to do that. I'm going to keep the small guys as characters, and then I'm going to keep the bigger guys as sprites. Um, Pausing the music for sound effects is not possible. Not with Sid Tracker. No, I I'm I wish it was the case that the Sid Tracker was being used, but unfortunately uh the 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 music that he's done is really, really good, and I do not want to ask Jason Page to rewrite the music in another tracker. So we'll just kind of work around it. I might take a look at the player if I can find a sneaky way to get sound effects into the player. I might do it, but it's not a huge loss. The music is kind of the core thing. Um, yeah, it is. It's very good. It's really long as well. It's like a 10-minute long. Uh, I mean, if you've heard the music from Cecconoid, listen to the music from Cecconoid. Now imagine Jason Page doing a version of that. That's basically what it is. Um, and it's very, very good. I like it. Should warning sit a little bit higher in the screen? Let's take a look. Uh, yeah, annoyingly, because it's 7 characters high, it's not going to end up centered. But maybe it's a little bit too low at the moment. I'm not entirely sure exactly where it is, but let's. Oh yeah, it definitely needs moving up though, doesn't it? All right, let's move it. Let's move it up one and see how it looks. So I need to take 2.8 off this, so that would be 9.4, 9.4 on there. It probably does need to be 2 rows up. I think it's better to have more space underneath. If you can't center something, it's better to have it underneath. Actually, that looks kind of spot on though, to be honest. Yeah, let's try both of those things at the same time. All right, so let's try. So we'll move it over by one, and then we'll move it up as well. So this is going to be 6.9, 6.9, 69. It did look good, the position, but let's try moving it up. We can always play around with it a little bit. And this is why having those constants is much easier, because you can play around with them. Oh god, I moved it way too far. Hang on, what did I do wrong there? Oh, because I 6B, not 6.9. God damn it. Oh, I liked it. I liked the. Let me just see that again. I'm gonna slow. Well, no. God damn it. Problem is, I'm locked in the room now. So I think it was. I think it looked better the original way. Let me just see that again. Oh, it was okay. Yeah, I think it's. I think it needs to be more central. The thing as well to remember is this will be possibly used on other screens as well. So it probably needs to be yeah, let's move it back. Okay. So it doesn't quite work as a moving it to the left, but it's definitely okay up another line though. Worth a try though, definitely. It just looks a bit off, I think. I think because your eye is drawn to the square that frames it rather than the position of the ship. You notice if the ship is obscured because it's your player, right? But your eyes aren't looking at the writing in terms of its relationship to the player, unless it's obscuring the player. But if it's not, then your eyes are automatically seeing it in relationship to the square that frames it. That looks, yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to leave it there then. We'll go and find someone to raid. Move to raid. Let's have a look. Where's my freaking browser gone? Who's on? Who's on? Oh, Hayes is on. Should we raid Hayes? We've not raided Hayes for a long time, have we? Let's go and raid Hayes. Just find the buttons. Cool. Right. I shall see you all tomorrow. For tomorrow's PlayStation 5 stream, so no coding tomorrow. So we'll all chill out. We'll all chill out, play some Spider-Man, and as I say, I will be giving away Resident Evil Village for PlayStation 5 tomorrow. So if you own a PlayStation 5, or you're lucky enough to own one, or you know somebody who does, or you intend to get one, then please join the stream tomorrow. Watch me play Spider-Man, and then around about midnight we'll give away that. As I say, we'll be giving away Game Boy Color games on Saturday, giving away 2 copies of Dot Cosmos. Just as a kind of send off for my little like 10-day break, whatever it's going to be. Okay, cool. Let's go and raid Hayes now then. Take care, guys. She'll see you tomorrow. Cheerio.